So we're here today to do exactly that, just to go over everything, make sure that you guys have an idea of the new process. We do have a new entry process this year. You're going to be so excited. We've actually built it to be the same as the nationals, which makes it a lot easier. So we're going to learn about the process. We're going to make it easy and streamlined because that's just it. Everybody's busy. We're going to look at we're going to actually do a mock judging today, so that you can experience what it's like to be sitting in the judge's seat. And I think that what that will do is it's going to give you a form of reference. How long they are viewing your materials, what they're looking at, and how it works. It will definitely put you in a different perspective when you're putting together your materials. And then we're going to go over any other questions. At the end of this, we're going to talk about questions that may come from this topic. So definitely hit me up for those. I do want to give you the important dates that you need to know about, which are March 14th is the day that you need to submit your application. Okay, now here's how this works. It's a two-step process. The application is basically you're going to go online and you're going to put in, these are the categories I'm submitting, this is the name of the project or person, and you're going to pay your fees. What will happen after that is we're going to send you an email with confirmation and goodies, and your materials are due by the 16th of March. Okay, so there's like a 2-day gap there. Do not wait till March 14th, people. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be really crunched. Nothing ever comes from doing your homework at the last minute. So try to do it as soon as you can. Get your numbers and start your entry prep. But those are the last minute dates. Now, that being said, you can do it in batches. Okay, so let's say you know for sure, I have these 5 entries I know for sure I'm going to be submitting, but I have a couple that I'm still considering. Put the 5 in now, and you can always come back in and add those last minute ones as you're going along. So it doesn't have to be done at one sitting, okay? The judging dates are March 29th through March 31st. And the reason I'm giving those dates to you are the 29th and 30th, if you are submitting for Community of the Year or Home of the Year, that's when we'll be touring. We're gonna go out and visit the communities and those homes in person with the judges so that they can see it in real life. And then the 31st, if you're submitting for the individual achievement, salesperson, and so forth, that's the day of our personal interviews that will be taking place here at the DBA. So you need to, if you're going to be submitting someone for individual achievement, make sure that on their calendar they know that they will have an interview that day for about 10 or 15 minutes here at the DBA, and those will be scheduled right about the 16th, 17th, we'll send them their notices. So there's a new entry process this year, which I mentioned, but I'm going to give you the steps to entry, okay? One is go online and view all the categories. Make your list of what you think are for sure entries, what you think are going to be the possible entries, and so forth. Then you're going to log on to the DBA website, and you're going to submit that information. Once you do that, you're going to get an email back with the confirmation with the instructions, and then you're going to assemble all of your materials, okay? And then on the day that you have everything ready, which is hopefully before the deadline, you're going to submit those through Dropbox or any other file sharing. I get this a lot. Is Dropbox the only method that you accept? No, it's not by any means. If you have a share file, if you have a Hightail, if you have an FTP site, whatever you're using, because most people are sharing files back and forth, whichever one it is that you feel confident, that's fine with us. So, when you go onto the DBA website, you're going to see in the entry information, it says enter on the tab. You're going to see where it says online entry application. That's the link that's going to direct you into the online portal for the entry application. What it'll showcase, it looks like right here, is a drop-down menu of all the categories, okay? So you'll select the category, and then you can complete the information of the project name or the person's name. It says project name, but if you want to, if you're submitting an individual, submit the individual's name. So if you're submitting for Salesperson of the Year, put in the salesperson's name. Don't give me Falls at Imperial Oaks where they sell. It's Sally Smith, okay? And the location, in that location, you can put in that space, it doesn't necessarily need to be the town, it can be the name of the community that they're selling for or at. If they're selling at multiple communities, you can just put, just leave it blank, or you can put in just the name of the community they're selling at now. It's not anything that is required, it's just filling in the form so we can complete it. Once you fill that out, now here's the interesting thing. You can fill this out up to 50 entries. Okay, so if you're sitting there and you go, okay, I want to do this all at one time, I want to pay on my credit card in one fell swoop so I have it as one charge, that's fine. The system will take it all the way that you need to, or you can go back and do them one at a time, however you wish. But the note I want to point out is there's a little button that says add another project. That's where you can keep adding more and more entries to it. We had one person who went in for nationals, they put them all in individually. I felt so bad. I had to call them and say, you can do it in one fell swoop, I promise. She goes, oh, I didn't see that button. So I wanted to point that out to you. It will auto total. It will ask you for your information. You put in your credit card information. It's charged to the DBA, and it will give you a receipt immediately. It's real time. So you don't have to wait for it to be invoiced. It's all right there. Okay? So the only way to pay is online with a credit card. Once that hits, literally within a minute or two, you will get a confirmation email back, and it'll have all of your information. Kelly, go
Sorry, I
ahead.
have a question about that. When you put add, I think I remember in the past this happening, maybe not, but you can't like delete one, once you,
Nope.
yeah, okay, I just
Be
wanted-
very, that's
That's
very
really
good,
frustrating.
good point. When you're in there, you
Okay.
can't delete. So if you make a mistake, you can edit it, but once you get it there, if you add too many, that's the other challenge.
Yeah.
So be careful not to add too many because then you gotta start over. Thank you for
Yeah.
pointing that out. It's the
Yeah.
helpful tip.
Mhm.
Okay, so you're gonna get your confirmation email. It's gonna have all of your entry numbers for those entries that you've submitted. Each entry receives a unique entry number. That's what the entry is going to be known as. It is a blind judging. The judges do not see your name. They do not know the team members who participated. They only know that entry is 084301. Okay, and that's how they're gonna refer to it. That's how they're gonna mark it. That's how they're gonna score it. You're gonna fill out your forms. You're gonna get your materials numbered, and on deadline day, you're gonna submit it back to me. And there's also my contact information if you have any questions when you're going through this process. These are the forms that are gonna be online on the DBA's website that you can download, okay? It's gonna be a zip file. You can go in, you can click it, and they'll all download. They're all the forms for all the categories. They're all numbered by what category they reference to, so that you'll have an understanding. So you won't be receiving those forms as an email from me, you're gonna need to download those. And they're all in Word, so you can edit them and manipulate them as you wish. We suggest you either return them to us as a Word doc, which is fine, or you can PDF them. Either way is acceptable. The ever elusive entry form, or team form as I call it now. I like to call it a team form because that's really what it is. The team form is just this. It's the way of identifying the category and identifying the team that's going to receive credit for the finalist list, the winners, the show, and the engraving. Please be very careful when you're filling out your team form because that's exactly the words we're going to be taking to use for any of the credits that go along down through the line. So, try to be as concise as you can as how it's going to appear in print, okay? Now, if you're submitting for best logo, I don't need to know your architect's name or your interior merchandiser's name. Only fill out or complete the fields that are appropriate to the entry, okay? Now, some folks, if you're gonna be submitting through Community of the Year and you're gonna be submitting through all those categories, fill it out one time and save as so that you have it. That way you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. That's a time saver. That's why we give them to you in Word rather than editable PDFs, just because you can manipulate it that way. And if for some reason there's some specialty person who needs to be given credit, you can edit the form. Take out landscape architect if you don't need it, but you need someone for your fabricator of your specialty signage or some other element. We definitely have seen that in cases where someone else needs credit for something that they have done on the project. There's a question in the back.
A comment, keeping these as a Word document or as an editable PDF really helps us because if you final and we need to pull information off of this, being able to copy and paste off of this form makes it a lot quicker as well. So
just reminding that if you leave it as a Word doc, that's fine. If you PDF it, it's fine as well. We literally copy and paste directly from those forms so that we don't have any chance of mistyping or misspelling. That's our intention. The marketing statement, the dreaded marketing statement. Okay, first up, I want to start by saying, do not fear over the marketing statement. Don't labor over them. Think of them as simply that you're trying to convey your story, or the intent of what you're trying to do. The top of the statement is basically, it's the information, the statistics. Where is it located? What does it sell for? What is the target market? So that they have an understanding for the judges. The website address, which is always interesting because it's a blind entry. I told you your name shouldn't appear anywhere. The website address does need to be completed. It can be the name of the builder of the project. The judges never see this form. It's read to them. The website address is a reference point for us. In case for some reason the judges ask us a question that may come up, like, can you qualify if this is a optional item or if it's part of the original plan? We can then go in and do a deeper dive, and it's just right there at our fingertips. But again, you can put in your website address and they will not see it, okay? The 200 words, the elusive 200 words. When we do our mock judging today, you will have a form of reference of why it's 200 words. The speed of which we go through the information and the amount of information that you need is really that succinct. Short, concise, very targeted statements are very, very well received by the judges. And I'll tell you why. You have so much information that's coming through to you that it needs to be just that. It's pinpoint. It's statistics. It's why you did what you did. It's something that you had to overcome that is what's going to gather their attention. We're going to hear a couple different styles in our sample entries later on that will give you a form of reference what I mean. I have some bullet points. I have one where they actually, I call it the shocking marketing statement, where they shook us up a bit. And then I have one that's just really a nice, straightforward, they told their story. So, but don't labor over the marketing statement. I know some people get really hung up. That's like their paralyzed moment. Really, the majority of the time, the marketing statement does not win or lose an entry. The entry will stand by itself, although a marketing statement can help you and can hurt you. So I think we'll go over that a little bit more here. This is the organization of how your entries should look, okay? So on top, you'll see you have your main entry folder with all of your entries, folders underneath it, and then what a entry should look like within its entry folder, okay? How it's numbered, how it's identified, so that you have an idea of the organization. The reason I show this to you and why it's so important is it's good to have it organized on your end, but when it gets to us for putting the entry submittal together, it makes a big difference, because if we're missing something, we can identify it right away. Oh, they're missing the floor plan. Oh, we don't have a statement. Oh, we only have 6 images. Did they mean to send us 8? So that we can come back to you. The other reason is you can look at it and you can see that you have all of the elements together as well.
What are the numbers?
The numbers are the unique numbers that the system will generate for you. So when you get that confirmation email back, it will have given those unique numbers, those 4-digit. So the first 2 numbers are the category number, and the 4-digit numbers after that are the serial number, the entry serial number. And when we talk about that, if you have a question, that's how it is. It's category number, entry serial number. Okay? You're welcome. And that confirmation email will have all of that, but if for some reason you misplace it or you need something, you can always call us and we can send it back to you as well. So tips on preparing an entry. I've provided to you guys some handouts today, which goes into a little deeper dive on that, and I'm not going to go over them point by point today because I think you can go through them, but the top points I'm going to give to you are the following. 1, start early. Pick those categories, identify the entries that you're going to want to submit, and make a good list. Again, you can always add more, but it's good to have that starting point and starting early. 2, photography. Get the best you can afford and get it early. Don't wait till the last minute so that you're freaking out because the photographer hasn't delivered to you your images, and then all of a sudden you find out he didn't shoot the kitchen. And you're like, no, but that's the best part, that's the heart. Get that done early. All the images need to be saved as JPEGs. It gives you the aspects and so forth. We give you that it's a range of 1800 to 1200. That's approximately. Now, if your photographer gives it to you and it's 3500 by 2000, that's fine. You can send it to us. What we're trying to give you is the approximate size, because if they're very small, let's say they're 800 by 300, they're going to be way too small. They're going to pixelate out. It's not gonna show well, so that's the minimum size you wanna aim for. Also, do not send them to us if they're 10,000 pixels by 7,000 pixels, because they're for a billboard. We'll have to resize them. And all that does is cause us to take more time. Again, we talked about marketing statements, don't labor. If you get to a point where you need some help on a marketing statement, call us, we'll send you a sample. I just had a gal here ask me to send her samples for internet marketing, logo, social media, and an overall advertising campaign. We're happy, we do enough awards programs around the country that we have lots of great samples that we'll send to you so you have a track to run on. Sometimes just seeing something will inspire some thought. So we're happy to do that for you. So this is what the judging looks like, and we're going to look at this a little bit later when we do our mock judging. But I wanted to give you a form of reference to how it starts. The judges are shown the 8 images as thumbnails. Okay, so they get a reference of what it looks like as it stands together, and then each thumbnail is blown up as we read the marketing statement. So if you can imagine, what we'd like you to do is to be able to organize those photographs in a way. Imagine that you're inviting the judge to come to that home, and you're going to walk them through the home. Organize it as if you're walking in you've arrived, you see the front exterior, you're walking in the front door, and how you would tour them through the home. That will help them to keep form of reference when they're looking at the floor plan. It'll help them to understand how the flow of the floor plan works. And it also it helps them have a memory point. Okay? If you go from the front door and then all of a sudden you show them the master bedroom, there's a disconnect. They're not understanding how the plan works. The other key is write your statement to the photographs. And the way I'm going to show that to you, you know what, Shane, I didn't plug in. You're not going to be able to hear this very well. We'll try it here. I have a video so you guys can get an idea of what it sounds like. But if you write the statement to the pictures and pointing out the unique elements of each space, the judges will really appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to play this video for you guys so you have an idea of what it sounds like.
Okay, so let's take a look at entry 4304.
That's right.
Located in Lone Tree, this home is targeted towards young professionals and families with a base price of $669,000. Square footage is 5,686 square feet. Beautiful inside and out, the attention to detail in this house is unparalleled. From carefully selected materials and color on the exterior to a well thought out livable floor plan inside, this house has it all. The open rail stair wows upon entry, but once around the corner, the glassed-in studies tucked below the stairs steals the show. The light and bright great room, designed to capture the beautiful views with expansive windows, opens to an infinity kitchen, which perfectly conceals a butler's pantry. An extra-large island, perfect for entertaining or casual meals, anchors the kitchen and provides extra counter space. The master suite screams luxury with its private covered balcony, fireplace, oversized walk-in closet, and a spa bath. Upstairs, a multifunctional loft is a perfect place for crafts or homework. All outdoor spaces in this home are oriented towards the stunning mountain views because that's exactly why we live here in Colorado. Let's have a discussion now on this plan, judges, and our thoughts.
So that's literally how it goes through. But did you see how they pointed out every piece as they went through each thing? They pointed out the open rail stair, they opened the entertainer's kitchen. All those little elements, well, they were already in the photo, they highlighted the why and why it was so successful in the plan. So that's almost what we call the perfect read, where everything literally, as we clicked, went to the next topic. And as they did it in their statement, they did it as bullet points. Slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4. It really does help to point it out. And as you heard, as soon as we view all the slides, then the judges have a moment to have a discussion. So they'll stop for a moment, they'll discuss the entry, and they'll point out other elements, noting that they do this as a group, but they judge and they vote on their heart. They do not judge and vote as consensus. Okay, so they are scored. So I wanted to show you guys a few really good samples for nationals again, where we thought it had to connect with the statement and with what they were doing on screen. This entry is for best logo, And the reason we wanted to bring it up, this is a primary target market of move-up local buyers, growing families, and eco-friendly buyers of the local Davis community. This is priced from mid 400s to low $1 million, and it's a new master plan community. Okay, so keeping in mind the classic and authentic characteristics of this community in Davis, the logo is concepted and designed to reflect the historic importance of cycling within the Davis with the iconic bike wheel. In this case, the bike wheel is accompanied by the stem and a leaf sprouting from the top of it, signifying the agricultural roots. This fact pays homage to the community being located at the site of a former Hunt Wesson plant, and the community being designated the first ever farm-to-table new home community with a working farm on site. Farmhouse Welcome Center and a barn. Supplementary to the farm and farm-like marketing, the font chosen was to align with the home builder's style guide, best known for a form of rotating the and the strong font selections for the outdoor billboard, the signage, and local large-scale executions. The logo and its hidden iconic significance combine the past, present, and future, truly identifying that life tastes better here within its community. So, what they did is, they talked about the fact that the bicycle is in there. They talked about why the sprout comes out of that logo. They had to explain what they did and why it was significant. They talked about the fact that all four of those, which they didn't talk about here, but they talked in graphic continuity, the six imagery below the logo there, those are the names of the neighborhoods and why they identified. So it was a fairly well executed entry, but I just wanted to show you have to tell the why behind. It helps them to have form of reference. All right, our second entry, this is my shocking entry. This is a primary target market of 30 to 40-year-olds who are tired of soulless condos dominating our skyline and neighborhoods and are in search of a home with its authentic feel. Priced from $199,000 to $800,000, these condos sell in downtown Toronto. So this is their statement. Marketing objective was to sell our target a neighborhood instead of a condo by producing material that remains true to the eclectic roots of the area. Our target is a 30 to 40-year-old who identify with the culture of our West End neighborhood, but are growing tired of the perceived soulless condo developments and are beginning to dominate our neighborhood. The graphic continuity of this project was achieved by using assets that reflect the eclecticism of the neighborhood. And that's why each letter of the logo uses a different font for every character. It's also why we designed a logo that would look exceptional in a number of mediums, from 10-foot iron sculptures outside our presentation center to the wood cutting inside. The consistent color palette of black, cream, and orange helped bind the elements together. When we took these into consideration, use them in the graphic continuity, the brochure cover, the subsequent pages, for instance, are printed on natural cardstock to emphasize the unpolished aesthetic. From digital assets to sales merchandising, all touch points have a unmistakable mark of the eclectic downtown and the project itself. They explain why all the different letters are different, because they're individuals, like the individuals who live there. I don't know if you can't really see it here, and I wish I could explain it to you. This is their ad. This is the front page of the ad. And when you turn the page, the back page is the back of the shirt. Now, when you register online on their website, you literally get back in the mail that shirt so that you could then walk around and be a walking testimony for that project. It went for Best Direct Mail. It was really well done. All of their pieces all carry in all these elements. But the most interesting part of this is they're talking about being the anti-establishment, being authentic, being different. But they literally grabbed the judges by saying the soulless condo developers that stuck with us the entire 3 days.
So
Oh, look, it's the soulless developers again.
much like you do a room or something at a project to really grab the consumer, that small statement grabbed the
It
judges
was
so
in
that
there,
whenever
right.
it came up, and the only error this company made, and please don't do this, is they entered all the qualifying categories. For some reason, they didn't enter Community of the Year, and they would have won
They would have won.
attached Community of the Year if they would have entered
And
it.
they just simply didn't submit. It was probably the biggest. The judges were ready. They're like, okay, so here we go. We're gonna pick Community of the Year. It's gonna be East United. We said they can't win. They didn't enter. No, you're kidding. Nope. Sorry.
Was there a reason that they didn't enter based upon?
They didn't want to submit, they didn't have entries in interior merchandising and in architecture. They just really pushed everything into their marketing element. They
Okay,
had everything else. It was just literally like 2 more entries, well, 2 more entries for architecture interiors and then that community year entry, and they would have swept the show. It was just one of those little like, it's like, oops, I didn't finish it. I didn't finish the job. So that's a good point. So this is for, I wanted to show you this. This is an entry for internet marketing campaign. The reason that it was a good entry is one, banner ads and e-marketing, people, it's kind of like a throwaway, but it's not. I mean, it's a huge, it's how we do business now. It's the new print ad, right? So they showcased not only how their banner ads work, because these were rotating banners, okay? But here's the interesting part about their statement. How do you successfully market a project that's located near a former site of one of the most radioactive, contaminated areas in the nation? This is a tremendous challenge faced by our developers. This is situated adjacent to the former Rocky Flats nuclear weapons facility. And although cleanup efforts are complete, the facility continues to disrupt marketing efforts with negative PR and online commentary. Targeted to the Denver area buyers, including young families, move-ups, and affluent older buyers, this campaign met the primary objective of increasing brand awareness and successfully positioning the project as the next great place. Featuring provocative imagery and compelling copy, the banners capitalized on the dimensions of the community, the true assets of the Life Wide Open, and the digital effort that helped the community become the second most successful project in our area in terms of sales. This is where that really connects right now. Total visitor traffic is up 43%, unique visitors up 71%, page views are up 20% compared to the previous year, and given the online metrics and sales, satisfying the biggest challenge of migrating perceived risks of Rocky Flats, the campaign warrants recognition. They gave us details, okay? They told us, oh yeah, okay, we're doing this, but we're also getting click rate. We're overcoming the objection. That's a huge, talk about a marketing nightmare. I mean, it's rough. Okay, so I showed you guys this one. This is just a good website entry. And the reason I wanted to show it to you is these folks talked about how they redesigned their website, not visually, but strategically going into the buying season. They felt it important that they wanted their site to be more about what the customer needs to make their home buying journey informative and valuable, and less about what the company wanted to tell them. Okay? They wanted to make the path as clear and simple as possible and make the decision to ultimately working with parties involved. They have top 3 objectives: making it easier for the customer to get to the information they're looking for, identify where in the buying cycle the customer is, and increase the number of users. They developed a new selling proposition: your inspiration has a home. Okay, so they allowed them to almost have Pinterest boards and photo galleries where they could literally go in and pick different elements from different homes. They created password-protected formats to make it easier to have them save images on their inspiration board. They increased the sessions 21% and their unique users by 24%. And the number of page views were up 27% and a bounce rate declined by 31%. So they gave us metrics of why it worked, why they did it and why it worked, what their thoughts were. So I just wanted to show you that one. Now we've already seen the little entry from Farmhouse, so I won't go over that guy, and we already saw, but I do want to go back through. Again, nice clean photography, nice clean floor plan for the judges to view. Now that's literally what they'll see on screen, so they'll have it on their laptop, okay? And then going through, again, the nice imagery and organizing it so that you're walking through the model as if you were there in person, okay? And then we already did this guy. Shane and I kind of disconnected. We decided, halfway through, we're like, we should do the mock judging. So my samples became the mock judging, which were the good ones. So again, using clean photography, clean looks. If it's a good plan, it's a good plan. If it's not, it's not. I mean, that's the thing that people have to understand is the judges are sitting there with a pure heart. They don't know you. They're not from your market. They're in the industry, and they're sitting there looking for the best of the entries that are submitted. That's the other thing that's very important. There's 5 entries in the category. They're going to look at those five homes. They're not thinking about anything else that's out there in the market. They're looking at those 5 entries as they are standing there together. Okay, and they want to find the best, and they do it with, just like you guys did. It was just matter of fact. And nobody sits there and goes, oh, well, I'm trying to, push this guy down or push this guy up. They have no form of reference. You're just a number, okay? Any other questions that we didn't cover?
Okay, I have a question, and Jody, you may be able to answer this as well. For example, Jody's group is going to be representing us. They do all of our digital marketing and did our brochures and everything for our new community.
Okay.
So when we submit, in the categories that are submitted and won, do each of us get the award because they created it, but it's representing our community? Because I know you guys
Here
submit as
we
well.
normally give two awards, and if something's changed, let's see if you're back there, it changes.
I believe it goes to both parties.
Yeah,
Okay.
here, like nationals, you get one.
Okay, good, so we won't be competing against
Normally-
each other.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and if we were to enter an architectural category for you or something, we wouldn't win just because we did the, I mean, we're not gonna.
Yeah, you and the
AHP
architect
isn't
would
gonna
get
win.
Right,
Yeah,
So
it's
we know.
the team.
But if
It's the team.
it's a marketing piece that we created, they have two statues, one
Okay.
for the community and one
You as
for
the
the.
client always gets it first. but
Yeah,
we-
yeah.
We
When you
we
get
have to
into
buy
the
one, we
work.
buy one for ourselves, is what he
Yeah.
does, but, yeah, I think here we normally will give it to the
She's
client.
gonna go
and the
double
team.
check that. So normally what happens is in the case of an entrant, for instance, I know you guys always submit on behalf of your client.
Yes.
So the client is the entrant.
Yeah.
Okay, they're just doing the work to prepare the entry for you. Okay, so that's how it's presented.
Yeah. And if we had to, we'll buy one for us. I mean, you know.
Is it bad to submit the same model home for multiple submissions? Like they're
No.
seeing the same house over and over, does that do good or not, based on?
It absolutely can be work for you and your benefit. For instance, we'll have entries where they'll submit it for interior merchandising, for home, and then go for home of the year. No, you're building your case. They're
Okay.
like, oh, yeah, I saw this. And just so you have a form of reference, here's how we do the judging, which I think will help. When we start the judging, the order of the judging, we don't go category 1 through 20. We start with the architectural design. We take them we start with the homes, the product, okay? We do all those categories first. Then we'll start going through the marketing and so forth, and then we do interior merchandising at the tail end. The majority of the time, the interior merchandising entries are homes that have been in the architecture. So they've already seen them, they have a form of reference, they're familiar with them. And it helps them to go, oh yeah, I remember this from the previous category, it did well there, didn't it? Okay, well, we really like that merchandise, or we remember this merchandising. So it gives them a memory point.
The answer to your question, if it's a builder that has a company do it, there are 2 trophies. If it was a builder that did it in-house, there would be 1 trophy, and for like Builder of the Year, that's 1 trophy, but in your example, where you have a company that
It would be a team, okay. Secondary question.
Yeah, sorry, it kind of goes off that, on like the design feature,
Uh-huh.
if you use an outside, obviously a design model stager,
Mhm.
do we have to put them somewhere in reference in
You
that
can, or
entry?
you can, or you don't have to. I mean, it depends on what your relationship is. I mean, if you want to give them credit for their work, yeah, absolutely. If you don't, you can leave it blank.
Okay,
It's up to you. It's not required.
okay.
And share the wealth, if you're proud of them,
Yeah,
you're happy.
yeah.
Some people are like, no, strike them off, we're not doing work together anymore. So that's fine too. That's between you guys.
Okay,
Whomever you would like to give credit.
thanks.
Okay, there are a couple of things we wanted to give you guys heads up on that came up in our meeting earlier today. One was, if you submit into the Dallas McSam Awards, your entries are held for you, so you can resubmit them to the nationals. So all those materials that you placed into the entries, we keep them and store them, and if you decide you want to submit them in the National Sales and Marketing Awards, you just pay the entry fee, and we take them and we roll them right into that competition. So it's a great benefit. Now, if you've submitted in the nationals this year, and you want to take those entries and submit them in exam, we'll roll it the other way. So if you had any entries this year, we can take them back the other way, so you don't have to resubmit the materials.
we renumber them for you.
So if that's something you're interested in, just call us so we can talk through how we're going to get that taken care of. We do want to remind you that if you're submitting for community or, there are qualifying categories for Community of the Year, Master Plan or Community of the Year. If you have submitted the previous year and you've won for a category, for instance, for a logo or brochure or website, you can't win that individual category because you're the winner of the previous year, but you might want to submit it because it's going to give you the points necessary to create that crafting that community of the year entry, okay? So the community is of the year, whereas logo is, unless it has 50% or more changes in the materials, it couldn't be recognized. So but if you have a new brochure, like you came online last year and you won, but then you have a new brochure this year that you've debuted, you can resubmit that. We just want to let you know that. You can also resubmit entries from the previous year that have not won. If you didn't win the category, run it again. You have a completely fresh set of judges. They have no form of reference. They weren't here last year. It's like a fresh set of eyes. Okay? And the other thing is you have a fresh set of competitors in your category because the guy who won last year, he's gone. Okay? For this year, go ahead.
What's the criteria for new community? How old can it be?
It needed to be open for sale or rent within the 12-month period of 2015. So as long as it was open and has sales or leasing process, you're good to go.
Okay, perfect.
So if you're gonna go for People's Choice Awards for community or builder,
She said, what if it has sales but no closings?
that's okay. As long as that an open sales process, you're okay. You don't have to have closed anything. As long as you had a sales office and they were writing contracts, you're good. You might want to qualify it in your statement though, the fact that you're new, you open at this date, you just haven't posted anything yet, and this is why. Because they might look for statistics.
Got it.
And they'll go, well, they haven't sold anything. Why didn't they sell anything? Is there something wrong? No, there's nothing wrong. We're just brand new.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about a new sign that was designed in 2005 but installed in January of this year?
You're fine. Because they've never seen it, so it's brand new to them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't tell them that was designed in 2005.
And 15, I mean.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, wow.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, okay, it was designed in 15, but you just installed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put it in there. It shouldn't be a problem. 'Cause you were underway. It just finally got placed then. Yeah, you're fine. The community was open, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. As long as the community is open, that's fine. Yeah, you're good. You're good. 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 Okay, so for People's Choice Awards for community and/or builders, we need the list of your buyers that we're going to do the research on, the survey for up to a 24-month period. Okay, so you can go back up to 24 months. You don't have to, but you have the opportunity. But you need to have a nice, clean list. What we mean by that is, gather your list, do a test email. Please take out all the bounces and all the people who are no longer, don't want to receive information from you, so that the list that we're going to give to the survey research company is a nice list of people who will participate. Okay?
Phone numbers as well, or just addresses?
Just emails.
Just email.
Just emails. Okay? And they really, the more work you do on the front end of that is going to be the best, because if we have to scrub your list, there could be an additional charge. So we don't want that to happen. And then just announced today, we have the $1 Million Sales Stars that we're going to be recognizing at the McSam Awards. So this is a volume award. It's non-judged. Okay, so you can submit all of your sales stars in your sales team. This is $1 million. There'll be rankings based on the different levels that come in. But anybody who's sold $1 million and up, it'll be a specific fee. All we need is their name, their sales volume, and their picture. And they'll be recognized during McSam on screen. And they'll also receive an award that they can pick up at the show. So it's a great way of recognizing your sales team. It's a great rah-rah moment. And we encourage you guys to take part of it. Again, it's non-judged. It's just basically like, okay, Sally Smith sold $10 million and she's a star and we want her to be recognized. So we'll get that information out to you guys as well. Great way to get people inspired for the next year. And they always love that piece of award sitting on their desk for the year as well. So, any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
On that $1 million, does it have to be sold or closed or both? Like, how are you counting the numbers? Is it a
It
contract
should
price or
be
closed price?
Closed. Closed within the calendar year of 2015. So it makes it easy so you can go back and pull that closed rate. And like I said, it's not, it's not when. You don't need to send us, it's the honor system. We're not going to have you pull escrow reports or anything else. You can just give us stated volume.
Okay, thank you.
Actually sending brochures in.
Oh, if you're submitting for the brochure category, we do need one sample of the actual brochure. They need to be able to touch it and feel it. We don't want to judge them on screen, that's unfair. They need to be able to see it and feel it, and it should be the brochure as it is handed to the consumer. It needs to have all of its inserts and all of its parts and pieces. Okay, that's a big disconnect when you get those brochures and there's no goods.
And that's sent here.
And those are delivered or sent to the DBA offices by the 16th of March, please. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the brochure that they did for us also has a folder. Would we include, can we include?
The whole
that?
thing,
Okay.
just as if you were handing it to someone walking in the door.
Yeah, well, we don't, sometimes we do them as separate components, but I have put the brochure in the folder.
The way you would want the judges to see it, yeah, exactly. Even if it comes in an envelope, however it's packaged.
And it should have that entry number on it as well.
Yeah, and put your entry number on it, on the outside of it, because that's how it'll be recognized as it. For websites, if you're gonna be submitting your website, all of the updates need to be done by March 16th. So that when because we send out the URLs to the judges, they view your websites online before they arrive at the judging. Because some people are gonna sit and they're gonna do it on their computer. Some people, we have one judge for nationals, I don't know how she did it. It's 86 website entries, she did them all on her iPad. She wanted to see how mobile optimized they were. And she went in the back end and did the metrics and everything. She was a little overachiever, but. Yeah, well, and that's just it. They will, sometimes we have architects who sit, they pull them up on their screen in their office, and then they go in and they pull them up on their iPhones to see how they work and how they optimize. So it all depends on how, usually it's the one who's just had to redesign their website, who's really super sensitive to it, who is more overzealous about it. But yeah, if you're gonna make any updates, have them done before the 16th of March, in case you wanna. It's kind of like picking up your house before your mother-in-law comes over, get everything all updated. Yes?
The architectural design category, what's the criteria?
The criteria, you mean the requirements or what they're looking at?
Requirements.
The requirements are a front exterior and up to 7 images of the interior.
But like I said, are they built, are they?
They should be built.
At a certain date, what's the?
They should be built and open for sale between January and December 31st, okay? You should have some photography of that model or of the home, okay? And so that it's actually a standing piece. Got it. Yeah, we don't have it on the boards here, unfortunately. We have that in other shows, but not here. Any other questions?
Now, when you said criteria, I don't know if in the entry online, I haven't gone there and looked at it this year yet, but it usually says, your entry is designed on, the floor plan, the flow, the this, the that. It does actually give the
Criteria which they're judging from.
Yeah, meaning, you'll write your statement, you'll do all this stuff, but the judges are told, here's what it is, we should be looking at. I mean, if it doesn't have to, if it's an ad thing or whatever, it'll say, we're judging continuity, or we're judging the, how it works and whatever it is. But it does actually give you a little bit of criteria that says, here's what they're judging on. So you can kind of think, okay, I gotta make sure I talk about those things in my entry.
Right. The front exterior, the interior design, the flow of the floor plan, and spaces. And here's the biggest thing, because this is a sales and marketing awards, is how it relates to its target market. If you can explain how any of your entries relate to its target market and its success rate, that is 50% of what the judges are looking for. If you design a house and nobody buys it, how can it be successful in sales and marketing? But if you design a house and it's overwhelmingly, it's a top seller, it does great, it's wonderful, everybody loves it, and these are the elements that made it that successful, that's what they're looking for. So I hope that helps. And again, if you have any other questions, or if you need a sample, let us know, we're here to help. All right, thanks guys.
I have one other question, just to clarify, Kelly was asking again, and we talked about this in the meeting, about for master plan community of the year. Can someone who won last year win it again this year? And I just want her to hear the answer, and I figure it's something important for people.
I believe what we said is that it could win again, but it would have to have 50% difference within it needs to have new product, it needs to have an updated website, it needs to have possibly a new sales or information center, it needs to have some new branding, so that it's not just, okay, we're gonna run what we did last year and then it'll win again. That wouldn't be fair. Yeah. And he's at 50% or more difference. Okay,
Thank you so
you're
much.
welcome.
Very helpful.
Thank you.